Sukham Sthiram Asanam. The seat is comfortable and also firm. Starting with a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. Close off the right nostril with the thumb. Breathe in. Close off the left nostril with the two fingers. Breathe out. Breathe in again through the right nostril and close off the right nostril. Breathe out through the left and continue in this same way on your own pace. The trick to doing this correctly is to know to breathe in out of the same nostril from which you have exhaled. The breath is long, deep, and preferably silent. The practice can be strengthened by just saying Om Namah Shivaya with each inhale and exhale. This will help the mind also to be calm and not keep going after thoughts. This practice is called Nadi Shuddhi, or cleansing the subtle meridians within the body, aligning the hemispheres of the brain, and letting go calming, strong negative emotions. Pranayama helps with the acquisition of Shama and Dama that are crucial to this pursuit of self-knowledge. 6 minutes of this per day is said to cleanse the blood very thoroughly, because it takes 6 minutes for the blood to circulate in the body. Next time you breathe in through the right nostril, bring the hand down and exhale normally. Notice the difference for you that this practice has brought. Perhaps you're able to sit a little more deeper in yourself. Perhaps the mind is less reactive. Perhaps you're able to arrive here better. Perhaps the practice has helped to delineate better between this and I, this cognition and I cognition. Allow the mind to sink deeper into I. Right now, nothing matters. Right now, nowhere to go, nothing to accomplish, nothing to approach, nothing to avoid. No pravritti, no nivritti, just being, just being. Nothing to escape, nothing to want, nobody to blame, including myself. No longing for acceptance, for approval, at least for now. No strife within or without. No cares. Anxieties recede. Presence of the sun. as do fears and insecurities. I watch them dissipate, the changeless observer of changing states of mind. The unafflicted sky, space, watching the cloud formations. I watch the patterns of the mind. Jagath Gandharva Pattanam. This whole universe, my personal universe that I carry, or even the universe outside that I interact with, that I am influenced by, is a cloud town, a town made up of cloud formations. This is a good practice when anything is bothersome. To give it a shape of the cloud and to just watch it shift, change and dissipate. It is all fluff. In these placid waters, there is nothing to disturb. The observer is not disturbed. Thoughts that arise from within, whether pleasant or unpleasant, are like little bubbles from the bottom of this lake. All events that I encounter outside are like ripples on the surface, perhaps made by the winds of karma, of fortune. It does not affect the observer. All is well, within, without. I am okay. I am free. can watch the drama unfold around me without being affected, afflicted. I, the observer, can watch the body, the mind, do their things. Let them do as they please. A twinge here, discomfort there, a roving pain, just shape-shifting clouds on the canvas of my consciousness. Chidanandarupa Shivoham, Shivoham. Like space, the chit space in the heart, this sentient consciousness accommodates everything. Knowing this, I can let go a bit more. For I am always in charge but not in control. Twinges of guilt and hurt, like the pains in the body, are just shape-shifting formations in the mind. Cannot affect I. This guilt, this hurt cannot affect I. I is unlike anything else. Unique, free, total, complete. Na punyam, na papam. Karma cannot touch me. Na karta, the victim, nor the agent. What is this I then? Asangoham punah punaha. Uninvolved spectator of this tragi comedy called the Jagath, which includes this body, this mind. Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham. Thoughts rise and fall on the canvas of the I, this limitless consciousness, like a movie being projected on the screen. The colors of the movie do not seep onto the screen. I likewise am pure, Shuddhoham. The movie of the train of thoughts comes and goes. I am the unchanging one, Nityoham. I cognize the changes. I am sentient. I am knowledgeable, Buddhoham. There is no bondage for this I. It is free. Bondage is for the mind, the I notion, the ahankara, the ego, that is mired in the this. The I is free. Muktoham. He Krishna Govinda, Hare Murare. Hearing happens. When the ears are open, mind is alert and there is something to hear, hearing takes place. When there is something to hear, I become hearer, seer, thinker. Roles projected onto the canvas of I. Seer transforms to hearer, hearer to thinker. Shape-shifting clouds of identification. Who am I? The ear of the ear, the truth of the hearer, the content of the seer, that which enables me to see, without being seen. That which enables me to hear, to think. Aham, I. Wherever hearing takes place, I is present. Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. I am present. He Nath Narayana Vasudeva. I am present. What about when there is nothing to hear? Do I go away? Or am I present as the witness of the silence and the sound? I am the source of all sound, as the original cognizer. In me alone, silence, the absence of sound, is also cognized and gets a name. In the space of the sentient consciousness, the world rises and sets. Mayi eva udeti chidvyomni. The world rises and sets in this vast space of I, like even a host of cloud formations that look like a village. Jagath Gandharva Pattanam. Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham. एको देवः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः सर्वव्यापी सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा कर्माध्यक्षः Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha. One source of consciousness, self-evident, I, hidden in all beings, all pervasive, the truth of the creation, manifest as the law of karma, the witness of all, the one sentient consciousness in whose presence everything comes to be. That which impels everything to action, itself actionless, the only thing there is, without form, but cognized as I. Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Let the Upanishad speak. May her words be internalized. By all seekers of the I. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Shift a little bit here or there because I can't see you, I only see the camera. Shift your chair or move to this chair. Move to the chair next to you. Yeah. Oh, there we go, much better. Today we have a crackpot. See? Nicely repaired. Does everybody have a book? Yes? Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karamavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Before we proceed further on this, I was reading this and I made some mental notes on a few verses which we have already done, a couple of them. One of them occurs a long time ago, verse number 4. We did that last year, yes? Yes? Verse number 4, when was it done? Yesterday. So here, see, this is why we always say attributed to Shankara. This is why means I'm going to tell you why. Because there is a certain kind of what should I say? Intellectual rigor in Adi Shankara's writing, which is not found in this. So that's why we say attributed to and leave it at that. And one example here is in verse 4, which says, especially the latter half, which says, Kartaram anyam avagamya tad arpitani kurvanti karma paripaka phalani dhanyaha. These blessed ones, the ones of wisdom, what kind of wisdom? Self-knowledge. What do? They are aware of their, give one more book please. Yeah, there is another blank problem here. Only one. So, when I'm looking at page 15, Kartaram anyam avagamya karma kurvanti. So whenever they do anything, they are aware that the karta is not them, that is okay. And they do the action without a sense of doership, that is correct. The second thing is this karma paripaka phalani arpitani, means they dedicate the fruit of the actions to Bhagavan. This is the definition. Yesterday I talked about. What is the the definition of Karma Yoga? So who does Karma Yoga? The Jnani or the seeker? Seeker. Yeah. Seeker does Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is an important lifestyle. In order, while you are pursuing the knowledge, the Karma Yoga is an attitude which helps to, like I said yesterday, to just coalesce this duality to you and Ishvara basically. And then ultimately you let go of that as well. There is a long discussion, and many people are confused about this. There is a long discussion of this in Brahma Sutra and elsewhere, where some of the scholars even, so that therefore we cannot blame whoever wrote this, the scholars even discuss, and they are confused about whether the Jnani is a Karma Yogi or not, whether the person of knowledge is a yogi or not, And the answer to that is that, the karma kurvanti, they do action. That itself is a little funny here, because really speaking, if you read some other, we have done this other one, Kaupina Panchakam, the ode, the quintet to the loincloth clad ones. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in that, of course, they say that they don't really do. There is no doing compelling them to do anything. There is nothing that they have to do. If they choose to do anything, they don't have to sit back and say, okay, now, who should I dedicate this action to? Yeah, because that is more of a practitioner of Karma Yoga, a seeker's stance, rather than the one who is already one with the knowledge. Because more often, the one who is a person of wisdom, the action flows effortlessly because it is in line with a cosmic flow. That is what it is. So only those actions are engaged in spontaneously. It's not that the person chooses. Those actions are engaged in which are just, it just happens, And so here, there seems to be a kind of a volition here in the doing of the action suggested, and also taking time to dedicate the fruits of the action to Bhagavan or whatever. Who is this Bhagavan? From the perspective of the person of knowledge, who is this Bhagavan? That is you, correct? So who are you going to dedicate the actions to? Yourself? Then you say, I am not the doer. A little funny. So therefore I wanted to say this. But here, we have to give benefit of doubt to the author, because otherwise we are just taking the text apart and not learning something from it. Having said that, I will also defend the author and give an interpretation of this verse, which is very beautiful. You can say that the fruits of action are dedicated for the service of others. Yeah, the fruits of their actions are just let go of, because they are not interested in the fruit. So they are offered up means they are, given away. This is what the truth of it is. Because the jnani is not interested in being a punya collector. Stamp collector? Yeah. Coin collector? Punya is good karma collector. But a karma yogi is interested in good karma collection. Why? Why? Wants to gain the knowledge, that is why, because it's all about the knowledge. So why do you need, what is the connection between good karma and knowledge? Huh?
Good karma you get through good karma.
Knowledge is not a product of karma. So why are you accumulating good karma?
Helps you progress.
Why?
Grace.
Yeah, but why do you need grace? What are you going to do? Sprinkle it over your salad?
Prepares us.
It helps in gaining preparedness. Good karma means good luck. And good luck is what brings you to class every day. Yeah. Good luck helps you to catch the plane, to not miss the bus. And in other words, it takes care of all the obstacles that might have been there from previous obstacles, from previous karma. It negates. Therefore, the karma yogi is a hoarder of good karma, not so the jnani. The jnani does not do action for the sake of gaining results. So that is what, this is how in the spirit it should be understood. So this is not to be understood as the jnani is doing results, doing action and then consciously dedicating the results. That is not the correct understanding. Okay. The number 5 we saw. The 3 kinds of desires to be relinquished. Yeah. Kicking and screaming at first. And then and then slowly it becomes natural. And what are the 3 kinds of desires to be let go of? What is Vittaishana? What is that? No, that is Vishaya. Yeah. What are the 3 kinds of desires to be let go of? See, if we don't remember, we can't let go of them.
Desire for security.
Desire for wealth. Yeah. Desire for hoarding wealth. First one called Vittaishana. Second one? Progeny. Yeah. Desire for children. And desire for children also includes worries about children. Yeah. And finally, the third one what? Experiences. Yeah, lokas. The word location comes from loka. Like myth comes from mithya. I'm making it up, okay? Yeah. So these 3 desires are the 3 obstacles to the knowledge. Because if not one, the other one takes over. And they are very scheming desires. They come in attractive packages. They look very small, benign and cute. But as soon as you go for them, they spell trouble. Yeah. So these are the 3 things that when you pack your bags, you don't pack these 3 desires. Yeah, when you are on the traveling on the road of moksha, moksha margaha, and then what kind of food should I pack while I am on the road to moksha? What kind of food?
Upanishads.
Huh?
Shruti. Upanishad.
That is not incorrect, that is correct. But here, in accordance to verse number 5, the answer is I don't pack any food. Yeah. I travel light. Oh, but I need to eat every 2 hours. You know, like that person who went to the doctor and the doctor said you need to immediately lose weight because, your cholesterol, everything is out of control. You are a heart attack waiting to happen. So you really need to lose weight. What did the patient say? I don't know how. Well, perhaps you should go on a diet, doctor said. Patient said, please, help me out. Obviously, it's not easy for me. If you can give me some ideas of what are the things I should eat, perhaps it will help. So give me this, whatever the special diet. The doctor said, perhaps, you can have some dry toast and tea or coffee. And then, you can have some rice and dal without ghee. And some vegetables. And then you can have, another example would be a dry bread or chapati with some more vegetables. The patient wrote it all down carefully. Just one question, doctor. Should I have this after breakfast, before lunch, or in between lunch and dinner? So the mumukshu on the path to moksha, what should I pack? Nothing. Oh, but I need to eat. Usually this is the latest thing, eat small, frequent meals. People forget that small, that adjective. Only frequent is remembered. Yeah, meaning eat frequently. So what should I pack? Even though I have to eat every 2 hours, what should I pack? Nothing. Oh, but how will the body be taken care of if I don't pack anything? Because there is a lot of insecurity surrounding the body, especially in the West, because we are the thermostat culture. Up, down, too hot, too cold, too hot, too cold. And we don't even know what the weather sometimes is outside in the winter. And this society of instant gratification have dulled our senses and our threshold for just allowing the body to do what it does naturally. Take care of itself. It has a certain intelligence. Because we interfere into it too much because of this instant gratification and no titiksha. What is titiksha? Patience. Forbearance and patience. No titiksha. NTC, no titiksha culture. And therefore, the whole idea of going on a journey, on this scary journey, because this moksha you don't know where it's going to lead you. People have said all kinds of things, and you're joining a group of forest dwellers, and oh my God, and what are these? These people are eating roots and fruits, and I have to have protein with every meal. I'm not going to spell out what that protein is. And I have to do this, I have to do that. And so these fears will be there. And this verse is a beautiful invitation to glimpse into the lives of the blessed ones who don't make packing of the food a priority for their life's journey. Packing of the food means focus on the food. Yeah, that is not there. That's such a boring life. Not thinking about food, what are they going to think about? Such a boring life. Not. That is a boring life. It may seem from the point of view of the person who is obsessed with food. From the point of view of a macrobiotic cook. Yeah. What does a macrobiotic cook do? Cooks. Is completely focused on food groups and protein and carbohydrate and what is that called? That food triangle? Pyramid, yes. Yeah. It is not really a pyramid, you know, it's really a triangle. Yes. Yeah. Bhojana trikonaha, food triangle, Sanskrit. And so this food triangle you look at and then you say, okay, this is where, this is how many servings I should have, what am I getting, what am I not getting. This is the macrobiotic person. And the macrobiotic person is obsessed with that. And then by the time the macrobiotic cook makes breakfast, it's lunchtime already. Yeah. Because it's all the slow food movement. Now no longer we are into fast food. Slower the better. Whole day you are chewing. Yeah. Oh, what kind of a gum is it? No, it's not gum, it's my lunch. And this kind of an obsession has to be avoided. Because otherwise, the 3-inch tongue rules the entire universe. Your whole universe is ruled by this tiny little fellow called the tongue. 3 inches long and up to no good all the time. Because, and the tongue has to be very carefully managed because it contains 2 sense organs. One sense organ of taste buds and the other is the organ of action in terms of what? Vak. Yes, speech. So therefore more alertness has to be given to the tongue. Yeah, because it can wag in many ways. And so it will wag for food, it will wag if it doesn't get food. It is the one that gives everyone a piece of the mind. A piece of the mind comes out through the tongue. Yeah. How else do you give somebody a piece of your mind? So therefore, the tongue it has to be firmly trained to not run away with you. It has to follow you. It cannot make you run away with it. The tongue has a lot of power. It opens new restaurants every day. All for these 3 inches, because beyond that you may as well be on the feeding tube. It opens and shuts down restaurants. It dictates what one buys at the grocery store. All these 3-inch fellows, really. That's why it is said that don't pack anything on this journey. Meaning if you are really committed to knowledge, it's, I should never go shopping. That's not the point. The point is don't make that your obsession and that your goal in life. Because if you make that your goal in life, you're still responding on a very animalistic level, of the level of security, because the animals, what do the whole day? They are wondering how to eat. That's what they are focused on, that. How to protect themselves and their young ones from other predators. And how to go to places where the grass is greenest and how to, eat that. That is what they are worried about. The whole day goes in that. So, do not give in to the prakrita buddhi, the animalistic tendencies that you have worked so hard to evolve out of. Don't go back there, because this is not a very good road to travel on. But then what will happen come meal time? You will be surprised, because really speaking, you think you are the one producing your food and you are the one eating. Not correct. Really? Not correct at all. If you are meant to eat, you will eat. We have a saying in our many of the Indian languages that on every grain of rice, the person who is going to eat it, their name is written. It's already there. The law of karma is what brings the food into your stomach. Yeah. Especially if you've done some annam meditation in the last life. Never mind about that. There is a saying in the Taittiriya Upanishad that if you meditate upon food, you get a lot of food. So, it's not that you are in charge of your food anyway. Even if you are cooking it, it is Bhagavan that is cooking it. It is that law that is helping you be in contact with this food and ingest this food. You can test this. Stop cooking, stop shopping, and just sit down and say, if I'm meant to eat, I'll eat. 1 or 2 days maybe, nothing will happen. But food will definitely come. Definitely it will come. If you're supposed to eat, and if this body is supposed to be alive, if it has a purpose for it to be alive, it will come. You can test it. I have. It always comes. And so therefore, that is the attitude to have. And especially if one is doing in this life what one is supposed to do, which is what? Find the truth, discover the truth of yourself. The idea is that all the other needs are taken care of without worry. This is a blessing. This is a little perk on the journey that you get fed on the way. And that is called bhiksha. That is called bhiksha. Meaning you eat what comes. You don't seek the various taste buds to fulfill the taste buds. You just are happy ingesting whatever has come, because whatever has come is a blessing. And then this is how the yatra, so parikalpita deha yatra, the journey of the body for the one who is on the journey of moksha gets taken care of. This is the law. And then that is what affords a lot of time to do a lot of introspection, to focus on the inner light, to focus on this jyoti, light within oneself, which is the light of Bhagavan, to revel in that light, which is beyond all duality, parat param, which is beyond all duality. And how do you revel in it? You shout out from the rooftops. A. You hire a megaphone, town crier. B. Or you just quietly revel. C. That is the correct answer. There is nothing to make, there is no posturing here. The enlightened person, the blessed person doesn't say, I'm enlightened. And I have this to offer. Yeah, this is what my teacher, Swami Dayanandji, calls enlightenment ahankara. Yeah, enlightenment ego. Oh, I know so much. All you ye lowly mortals, I am in a different category. That which resists all categories is what we are talking about. This is not some kind of an exclusive club, you belong to some golf club or some country club. That's not what this is about. Vedanta club, elite club, Ishvara club. Yeah. Such thoughts should be clubbed away. Such thoughts deserve a clubbing, even as they arise. Because the beauty of the blessed ones, as described in this text, the ability to traverse the Jagath while not being affected by it. Like even a lotus flower that grows in a, what is that called?
Mud.
Yeah, sludgy mud, and just clay is not enough. It's so sludgy. Anybody who's gone to pick a lotus is very disappointed with their clothes afterwards. Yeah, needs several washings for all those things to come off. But the lotus itself has some kind of microscopic hairs on it, both the leaves and the petals. And so, even if you take some of that sludge and throw it onto a lotus flower, you know what happens? Just washes off. So, like even the sludge of samsara that has given birth to a jnani, that the jnani has, the person of knowledge has gained this knowledge and is blossoming in this knowledge. It's not that you develop wings and fly away and then look down upon this sludge and say, aha, you are stuck, I am not. No. While being in the sludge, unaffected by the sludge. That is the idea. Okay? 6th verse. Another one that is very musical to hear, but puts doubt on the writer again. Nasanna san, nasanna sanna, nasanna sanna sadasanna mahanna chanu, nasanna sanna sadasanna mahanna chanu, nastri pumanna cha, nastri pumanna cha, napunsakameka bijam, napumsakameka bijam, yair brahmatat, yair brahmatat, samanupasitameka chitaihi, samanupasitameka chitaihi, dhanya virejuritare, dhanya virejuritare, bhavapashabadhaha, bhavapashabadhaha. Okay, so these dhanyaha virejuhu, that's just the sentence. The other thing is all qualifying clauses. Yeah. Dhanyaha, the blessed ones, virejuhu, shine. Shine in their own glory. How do they shine in their own glory? By knowing a few things. About what? Brahman, which is who? Themselves, the truth of themselves. So what do they know? Na asan. What is this Brahman? It is not asat, correct? It is not asat. Asat means non-existent, right? Is Brahman non-existent? No. Because you are here very much. Unless you are ready to be in self-denial. It's now too late for that. Whole weekend we have been studying. Unless you are ready to be in self-denial, you cannot deny the truth of you. You cannot say, if you are that Brahman, you are that Brahman. If you say Brahman doesn't exist, that means you are saying I don't exist. So you cannot say Brahman is non-existent. But here it also says, na sat. What? Neither is it existent. Here we have to understand it a little more carefully. Sat means that existence which is devoid of time, temporal and spatial constraints. That is Brahman. So the existence in terms of bhava vikara means the abstract sense of existence, when you can understand existence which is without time and space constraints. Existence that is unbound by the time and space matrix, that existence which is even the observer of time and space, that out of which existence time and space have come, that existence which has given birth to time and given birth to space. Time and space are nothing but this existence. The existence is beyond time and space. Understood? Yes. So this is what the Sat is. But then here he says Brahman is not even Sat. And here we have to take Sat as a time-bound existence. You cannot say Brahman is an existent thing like even this pot. Brahman is not an existent thing like this pot. So therefore it's not an object of something that is existing. It's the truth of everything that exists. That is how we have to understand. So neither is it existence nor of a particular thing, nor is it non-existence. Although in every existence I recognize, in every existent thing, that which makes the thing existent is Brahman. When I say pot is belongs to what? Brahman, not pot. Because as soon as I say pot is, then I just have to look within and then say cracked pot is. Because the pot is no longer pot. Right? And then clay is. And then further molecule is. Particle is. So the is keeps shifting. The is cannot be attributed, is not an attribute of that thing. The is resides elsewhere. Is resides with Ishvara. What are the first two letters of Ishvara? And what is this Ishvara? What is the first letter of Ishvara? I. That I alone is Ishvara, and all ises belong to Ishvara. There is no quizzes about these ises. About the finite nature of these ises, no more quizzes. All there is one is. And that is beyond space and time. So you cannot say it is not, and you cannot say it is an object that can be experienced by me. It is myself alone. And so, na sat, na asat. And then neither is a call. Sometimes there are these mediators, in Vedanta mediators. What do? They cannot stand conflict. So they say, let us have a compromise. Let us say Brahman is a little bit of Sat and a smattering of Asat. Let's put a little bit of Sat right here. Okay? Yeah? And how about some Asat? We'll put that and then we'll shake it up. We'll shake it up nicely. Like a cocktail. And then what comes out is what? Sadasat. Yeah. And there are all these vadis. These are the people who talk about Brahman erroneously like this. No thinking. The thinking they have left behind instead of the food. Yeah. Brain cells they have forgotten to pack. One thing you have to pack on the road to moksha is the brain cells. Don't leave them behind, okay? So this is non-thinking. And then they will say, samuchaya, chit jadayoho samuchaya, little bit inert and little bit sentient, Brahman. Little bit existent, little bit non-existent. What is this? Are you thinking? Answer obviously is no. So, that one also he negates. Sadasat, na. It is not a little combination of this little, little bit of this and little bit of that. Mix up little bit of existence and little bit of non-existence. How are you going to bring non-existence to mix with existence? Huh? Non-existence means what? It is not there, correct? So how are you going to take something that is not there and mix it with something that is there? It's just impossible. Logically, really the people are logically asleep. So then the next one is na mahat. Mahat means huge. Na cha anu. Neither is it atomic in size. What is the size of Brahman? Is it like a huge mountain or is it like a tiny atom? No. The observer of the mountain, the observer of the atom is free of size. Free of size means space-wise constrictions is not there for which. Because if the Brahman is as big as Mount Everest or the Himalayan range, then it becomes limited. Because it ranges from here to there. You can measure it. So we are talking of the observer, the limitless observer, who is observing spatial limitations. And then here is a nice one. Na stri, na puman. Puman is man, stri is woman. So neither woman nor man. There is no gender for Brahman. No gender at all. That's why all the sadhus have unisex names. Yeah. So, there is no gender for the I. Because if you say I is masculine, then it is limited by not being the other gender. Then if you say if I is masculine and feminine, it's limited by not being the neuter gender. So na stri, na chapuman, na napunsakam. Napunsakam means neuter. Neither is it neuter, nor is it masculine, nor is it feminine. It is beyond gender. Don't say transgender, because that's become another category. Yeah. So, and then what is it? It is Eka Bijam, that seed of the universe, the formless consciousness out of which this whole universe has come, like even a town made up of clouds and fog. This they know. This is how they are able to shine and walk unafraid. Yaihi Brahma, by whom Yaihi Brahma Tat, by whom that Brahman, Sam Anupasitam Ekachitaihi. So these facts about Brahman that we have just covered, what are they able to do? They are able to see single-heartedly, single-mindedly. When? All the time. That's all the time. When they are asleep, of course, one is one with Brahman. When they are awake also, they see no separation between them and the other. They see no separation. And that's why they are blessed, because they don't identify Brahman with a particular gender, with a particular object, with a particular existent thing, with a particular size or shape. They know that Brahman is not a matter for experience. It's a matter for cognition. It's a matter for understanding as the truth of themselves. Because if Brahman is a matter for experience, then what will happen? It will become finite. It will become limited. What is an experience? That which comes and goes. That which is always there, you don't say, I'm having a good experience. Yeah. And the other thing I want to say is that every experience, begs interpretation. Yeah. Other with interpretation means you are already coming into the cognitive realm. So it doesn't matter how many experiences of oneness you've had with the world, in dreams, in semi-awake states, in lucid dreams, in whatever it is. But unless this knowledge is completely settled in the heart, those experiences don't mean anything. Oh, I had moksha-like experience. For how long? Half an hour. After that, what happened? Nothing. I started to complain again. That which comes and goes is not moksha. That was some blessing of oneness that you had while encountering a mountain range, a flower, something. There is something that evoked a non-demanding being within you. Wonderful. But if we keep looking for certain special experiences, like a moksha experience is one more experience, then that means you're still a hunter, experience chaser. You're hunting for something other than you. Or you're depending on something to make you have that sensation of oneness. That oneness is already you. So this is understood by these people. That Eka Bijam, that non-dual source of everything I alone am, they are able to see this Eka Chitaihi, single-mindedly, without any gap, without any doubt, without any fear, without any worries. Dhanyaha virejuhu. These blessed ones shine around, keep shining everywhere they go. Oh, but what about the rest of the people? Itaraha means rest. Itare, the rest of the people are baddhaha, bound. How are they bound? Bhavapashaihi baddhaha, bound by the ropes of sorrow, bound by the cords of sadness. That's very sad, isn't it? Yeah. Bhava means samsara. Bhava means actually to become. So bound by the shackles of becoming. Because why is samsara called a shackle of becoming? Samsara, the definition of which is just to keep on becoming one thing to another thing to another thing. Because there is no contentment. Because the contentment is always focused on gaining this, not I. So if the contentment is focused on gaining this, then once I gain this, am I contented? No, maybe for 2 minutes, 2 years, 1 year, whatever. And then after that what? The sights are set higher and further and higher and further. Like the story I told you, like how much land does one man need? This is a Leo Tolstoy story. And so like that, one is always wanting to become something or the other. That is why samsara is called an ocean of becoming. Yeah, bhavabhi. An ocean of becoming, filled with the crocodiles of doubt and the sharks of competition, taking a bite out of your peace of mind all the time. Taking a piece of the peace of your mind, making your mind fall into pieces. When the piece is robbed, that's what happens. And the seaweeds of desires, they have a clingy quality to it, and they kind of always smell a little rotten to me. They've been on the ocean surface too long, these desires. And then, who are you? The float Sam or the jet Sam. Some Sam you are, yeah. Jet Sam means jettisoned. Yeah. Jettisoned by what? By your own resolve. And you're just adrift in this ocean like a piece of wood. That's why it's called driftwood. It's not drifting. And you ask the driftwood, why aren't you taking Vedanta classes? Why don't you get in touch with a guru wave who can tell you that the wave is nothing but the ocean? And what does Jet Sam or driftwood say? Driftwood will say, I would if I could. That's what it will say. If life is full of regrets. If I could, then I would. Then if I didn't do this, then I could have. And why did I do this? And why not? This is what the Upanishad says. Kimaham sadhuna karavam, kimaham papamakaravам iti. Why did I do the wrong thing? Why didn't I take the chances I was given? This is the human regret. The one who doesn't have this knowledge. The one who has missed the boat and the bus. And how easy it is to miss the boat and the bus when we are looking outside of ourselves. That is what this verse talks about. Itare bhavapasha baddhaha. They are kind of anchored to their own notions of what is freedom. And they are not able to cut loose from those notions. They are anchored to those notions. They are not able to move freely. They are not able to enjoy their own glory. Because if the notion is that my glory rests on, my well-being rests on something else, then that is where that well-being is anchored to. Bhavapashaihi baddhaha. Bhavapasha baddhaha. And what else? Have we covered everything here? Yes. Ajnana panka parimagna.
Ajnana panka parimagna.
Ajnana panka parimagna mapetasaram.
Ajnana panka parimagna mapetasaram.
Dukkhalayam.
Dukkhalayam.
Marana janma.
Marana janma.
Jaravasaktam.
Jaravasaktam.
Dukkhalayam marana janma jaravasaktam.
Dukkhalayam marana janma jaravasaktam.
Samsara bandham.
Samsara bandham.
Samsara bandhanam anityam.
Samsara bandhanam anityam.
Samsara bandhanam anityam aveksha dhanyaha. Samsara bandhanam anityam aveksha dhanyaha. Jnanasina tadavashirya. Jnanasina tadavashirya. Vinishchayanti. Vinishchayanti. Ajnana panka. Panka means sludge. Ajnana means knowledge, correct? Ignorance. Ajnana means ignorance. So the sludge of ignorance, Ajnana Panka. Then what? Parimagnam means completely drowned in. Paritaha Nimagnam Parimagnam. Yeah, Magnam means drowned. Pari means completely, from all sides. Not even a little, finger is bobbing up to say help outside of this, what is that? Sludge of ignorance. So the one that is completely in the deluge of the sludge of ignorance, and then what? And then as a result, their life is full of what?
Sorrow.
Apeta saram. Apeta means devoid of. Sara means juice, essence, happiness, motivation, the reason to get up every morning. The small joys that one, can for no reason, just the ability to be happy without any reason. All that has been taken away. This is a very interesting situation. Yeah. So this is the example of the world, the samsara. The most of the world and the people in it is what? The world itself, the whole Jagath is drowning. It's not a person that is drowning here. The description is for this entire universe is drowning in the juice of avidya. Festering in the juice of avidya, completely deluded in the juice of avidya. Meaning the longer you sit in the juice, the more you become it, correct? Yeah. Like rasagulla, the gulab jamuns, all these Indian sweets. And these Indian sweets are really sweet. Yeah. And these Indian, first you make a milk powder and some white flour or some dough you take and you make some balls. And then for good, that is already a calorie ball without even being cooked. And for good measure, you fry it, And it says in the instructions to fry until golden brown on medium heat so that it can be exposed to drinking the maximum number of oil, okay? Then not being happy with that, then you quickly put it in a syrup of sugar. 2 or 3 string sugar syrup. So the sugar syrup, candy makers will know this. What is the 1 string sugar syrup, 2 string, meaning you have to, when you stir the sugar in the water, not just the measure of the sugar in the water, but how long it cooks. So when the water cooks down and you take the wooden spoon and go like this, and if it makes 1 string, it's called 1 string sugar syrup. So it should have 2 or 3. And then you drop these balls, fried caloric balls. Serve after 8 hours because it has to drink in all these juices, because it has to percolate right to the center. Because if you serve immediately, then only the surface will be sweet, inside it will be very boring and bland. At least to the Indian palate. So, so the juice should have entered completely. So now this ball, is no longer the gulab jamun that I am talking about, which is the drishtanta, that which is an example. Now I am talking of the exemplified. Think of the whole Jagath as this ball. Yes. Dipped in this juice of ignorance. Because really, Jagath arises from ignorance, really. Because the Jagath is a kshetra, a location, a field of experience for ignorant jivas to have their yayas out, to have to experience their karma, to exhaust their karma. That is the answer given to anybody who says, from where did the Jagath come? Oh, from Brahman, from Bhagavan. Why did Bhagavan create the Jagath? It's no use telling them Bhagavan did not create, just like you did not really create objects in your dream. Did you create the objects in your dream? No, because they went away when the dream folded into the waking state. So similarly, it's no use telling them that Bhagavan did not really create, because they will, pester you. Yeah, they will catch hold of your coat and go like this. Why did God make the universe? If it is full of like this sludgy thing that you talk about, why? And just like the mother gives an answer to a child that is asking, things like, why do I have to go to bed at 8 o'clock? Why do I have to go to school? Why do I have to do these things? Why do I have to brush teeth every day? Can't I brush every other day? Or once a week? Is that not enough? And then no amount of rational explanation will help, because the child is not ready to understand. Because the child's brain is not prepared to understand what this is all about. So the mother will make up a story. You need to go to bed at 8 o'clock, because at 8:15 this boogie wala will come. Yeah. So you should be asleep by then, so that he will not take you away. A horrible, parenting practice. But but I sympathize with all, desperate parents, My sympathies are with the parents. What else will they do? Because, after having one or two of these kinds of questions, then, you're ready to have, your brain fried. So, therefore, the Upanishad, who is the mother of all seekers, in her motherly, gentle way, and that is what it is. She is like 1,000 functional mothers. Hitaishini sahasravat, matreshu, sahasra matreshu, like 1,000 functional, loving mothers. So she understands that the people who are asking this question, where did this Jagath come from? Why is this created? Are always people who are not understanding the non-duality of this Jagath. And who are thinking that the Jagath is separate from Brahman because it looks separate. So these are the questioners, and they are not ready to see the, non-separation. So for them an explanation is given. The Jagath is created for you. Oh, for me? Yes, for you and everyone like you, all the Jivas who had karma to exhaust. And of course the next question will come from the child. Where did this karma come from? How come I got all this karma to stomp around and exhaust? What is the answer to that? We will see the answer after the break. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. 20-minute break. We'll come back.